Welcome to the OutThere Colorado Podcast. Once again, I'm Spencer here with Seth.
Hello.
And we got Tim on the video and the audio for our show once again as well. And once again, how many times can I say once again is the question?
Maybe once more.
Once more. All right. Once again, we've got some fascinating Colorado topics to discuss today. Everything from what's been described as an elaborate stabbing hoax that took place at a state park to a bullfight of the Wild West days that took place in Colorado, to an interesting topic that I've been chatting about with search and rescue and more. Seth, as usual, has many food recommendations, which will be great because as far as my weekend went, girlfriend was out of town, back home at a baby shower, so not her baby shower, but at home at one of her friends' baby showers.
So a little break in the tradition of date night.
Little break in the date night tradition. So this Friday, popped over to Streetcar 520,
Nice.
down on that
while.
southern end of Tejon. They have a good happy hour.
Do they still have the curry dip with the French fries?
Yes,
That goes back
very good.
to when they were,
What
called
was it?
McCabe's?
McCabe's, yeah,
I remember
McCabe's
the
Tavern.
McCabe's days.
Yeah, very good stuff.
Crazy how different that part of Tejon looked when I think back
Oh
on
yeah,
it.
oh
Yeah.
for sure, yeah. There was that was right around the time when I moved here, back in like 2014.
Mm-hmm.
Lived over by McCabe, so I frequented
Yeah.
that spot quite a bit, along with Southside Johnny's,
Right.
another blast from the past there.
Which is now the Denver Biscuit Company.
Yes, and Atomic Cowboy.
And Atomic Cowboy.
And
Yeah.
McCabe's now
So
Streetcar 520. One of the best happy hours in town, in my opinion. I think beer's like $4 a draft, I want to
Wow,
say. Don't
wow.
quote me on that. Nice little chill atmosphere. I had
Mm.
some bao bun carnitas tacos, which were delicious, and some falafel. Should have gotten the fries too, but for whatever reason I didn't. Forgot to get those this time around.
I've
But
forgotten about those myself.
yeah, and then popped over, hit Urban Animal, got a couple take-home crowlers, and headed home and had a pretty chill night. And Saturday,
Wonderful.
did some stuff around the house.
Mm-hmm.
Went to a little fiesta at our one of our colleagues' houses.
Good gathering.
Yes, good little gathering. Got to see some work employees there, some of the other ones that you don't see on the podcast.
Right.
Yeah, and then Sunday though, woke up early, took another motorcycle road trip, and gonna talk about it again because I think it's one that anyone, regardless of the number of wheels on your vehicle, you could enjoy. Went down to Canyon City, just popped down the Veterans Memorial Highway. What was that, Highway 115 out of Colorado Springs?
Yep.
Down to Penrose, went through Canyon City, hit Skyline Drive. Right, so Skyline Drive, been up at one other time when it was extremely windy. This time it was like perfect day, so we got to hang out up there a little bit. Popped over to World's End, the brewing company.
Okay.
After that, down in kind of like downtown Canyon City.
Yeah.
Don't
think I've
good
been
beer.
over there.
Good.
Yeah.
They have good food too. I've
Good
had the food before, and and then just popped back home. Had a lot of storms, but I
Yeah.
think so. What I was thinking about, and I put out a piece today about it already. But I kind of used that road trip along with some other travels that I've had in that area, in that part of the state, to come up with this 182-mile Wild West road trip
Oh yeah.
that goes around Pikes Peak, essentially, right?
Mhm.
So if you go down to Canyon City on that eastern side of Pikes Peak, you can do some of the things I just mentioned there. Royal Gorge Bridge is there, and the train too, so you can see that canyon from above or below.
Yep.
If you're into outdoor recreation, which I'm guessing most of you are, they got that Arkansas River Walk trail system. Seth, you've reported quite a bit on that. New stuff out there, and then Island in the Sky Trail, which if you haven't checked out Island in the Sky Trail, you kind of get up to this really rocky plateau. It tends to draw a lot of mountain bikers, but you have to be a pretty good mountain biker to handle the rocky terrain. As I learned the one time that I did that, I am not a great mountain biker, especially in rocky terrain. But either way, beautiful. You're on kind of this cliff that has like 500-foot drop or so. So cool stuff there. And then also Shelf Road, obviously, also in the Canyon City area, one of those really good climbing spots, and just a beautiful area, beautiful spot to camp. But basically, to kind of complete this loop around Pikes Peak, Out of Canyon City, you'll want to take High Park Road, which is part of the Gold Belt Scenic Byway. Connects to a lot of little mining towns, and then eventually kind of drops you into that Cripple Creek Victor area.
Yeah.
Stop by the Victor Troll, maybe try your luck at the casinos of Cripple Creek, and then head on to Divide. Maybe stop at Paradox Beer Company, one of our favorites that we've chatted about a bit. And then just make your way down through Woodland Park and hit Manitou on the way, or Wines of Colorado on the way, or Fossil or Red Rock Canyon. But yeah, pretty fun little trip that I need to do that full
very
loop
liberating
sometime. Yeah, it takes. I think the drive would be about 4 hours if I want to estimate. So
little farewell to summer ride. It sounds like.
Yeah.
Look at me and you, man. You're in your coat. I'm in a sweatshirt.
I know.
Came fast.
Bucked the flannel trend for this,
yeah,
dude.
I hardly recognize you.
So I will say, I did also want to mention. So girlfriend gets back from her baby shower and flies into DIA. Flat tire, right?
Dang.
In the Pikes Peak parking lot.
Dang.
Thankfully, which I'd heard about it before but never had to use it, they have a service system that's totally free.
I have heard of it.
People showed up within 30 minutes, got her tire working and fixed, and she was on the road. And you can just call the number, free service 24/7.
Yeah.
So I was impressed. Like she called me and I was like, oh, this could be interesting.
And how many people don't know about that and then, call roadside or whatever, not realizing, man, you got something right there. Yeah.
Exactly. Even like if you lock your keys in the car or something, they'll help you with that too. So yeah, I was impressed.
I just heard about that not too long ago.
Yeah, and
another colleague here actually. Yeah.
This morning the tire's still holding air too. So like they did a good job there. So
they didn't have to change the tire? Same
no,
tire?
Same tire. Yeah. So she's gonna get it checked out. But either way though, I wanted people to know if they're flying in and out of DIA.
Public service here.
You have some car problems. There is a free number that you can call. You can Google that on your own.
Yeah.
But So interesting little tidbit there. But yeah, Seth, what were you up to this weekend?
Well, I got the best barbecue maybe I've ever had.
Best barbecue ever.
Total hidden gem.
All right,
here
tell
in
us about
Colorado Springs. Shout out to Front Range, love Front Range barbecue. Shout out to Rudy's, love Rudy's. I've had Bird Dog for sure. That's pretty good. But this Chuck Wagon, I think it's just called the Chuck Wagon. Might be 719 Chuck Wagon 719. It's just it's hiding out on the east side of town, east of Powers. Like you gotta want to go there. No one's really driving around there unless you live in that neighborhood, right?
Or
like,
if you're going to Chuck Wagon.
yeah, exactly. And it's like this like industrial zone and neighborhood that just breaks for this small little strip. I don't even think you call it a strip. It'll look like a former industrial zone itself, where there is just heavenly barbecue slinging out in lines out the door. Typically, one of those like true barbecue places that's like open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday from noon to 4 or until they sell out. And sure enough, like I'm there. We get there at like, gosh, maybe it was 1 or closer to, I think it was around 1. But already the list was starting to go down of stuff they were selling out of.
Yeah, very like Austin-esque of them to do that because that's something when you're down in Texas, you get those places. People line up too.
Right.
And they do that at Chuck Wagon, right?
Yep. That was indeed the case. We jumped in a line right away. It was funny. They're like looking at the menu and it just has that vibe of like everyone there knows about it and is probably a regular. Like that was like the vibe I got, right?
Very cool.
Like I felt kind of out of place. So I turned to the guy behind me and I'm like, are you a regular? And he's like, I was like wondering what to get. What should I get? And he's like, my first time was here yesterday. And he's like back. You know what I mean?
That's the ultimate compliment right
exactly.
there.
Yeah. Like
That's
he
awesome.
just got it yesterday and he's back in the afternoon, right?
Yeah.
So we got some brisket and there was this brisket elote that was fire.
Ooh.
And then a Texas Twinkie. Had my first Texas Twinkie.
Tell us
Are
about
you aware
that.
of this legend of the Texas Twinkie?
You gave me a little bit of a preview.
That's right.
But I think it's worth talking about again.
Jalapeno pepper, not spicy, bordered by smoked, crispy bacon. They had a way of just seasoning that bacon up really well too. And then stuffed with chopped brisket and cream cheese.
Oh, so like next level jalapeno popper. Oh, that sounds
Yeah.
absolutely incredible.
It was great, man. And
Man,
then,
Ooh,
yeah.
I've heard Chuck Wagon mentioned by several people recently, and
Where's
they
it
get there
now?
like an hour before it opens, and it's like a whole deal. Like
I
it's
would
a
have loved
whole.
to see what it looks like before
Yeah.
it opens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like people just tailgating, like classic.
Ooh, they also have the Dino Bone there,
Oh,
right?
how could I
Yeah.
not mention the Dino Bone? Yeah, this monstrous beef stick. It was a bone. I mean, but it was
A
huge,
giant,
like the size of my forearm.
a giant beef
Seriously.
short rib is how they describe it on their website.
Yeah, and that was sold out.
Dang.
That was sold out when I got there.
That one's
I think I got
pricey
one
too.
What's that?
Pricey too, right?
Like $35 or
Yeah.
something.
They're more expensive in Texas, so hey,
Yep.
maybe it's a good deal.
People were definitely getting it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. I can't wait to go back.
Ooh. Yeah, that makes that your recommendation of that immediately puts that at the top of my list.
Yeah.
/
And
shout out to the other two people that also mentioned it last week.
I wondered, like, like I'm not one for like having. I'm like a light eater in the afternoon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't really. I'm not one to get barbecue for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw people like walking out with like tins, you know.
Yeah.
And so I wondered if it's well known, load up, put it in the oven, whatever.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Gotta be good to go.
I'm sure.
So I think I kind of want to do that too.
Yeah, that's always our like family gathering thing that we do nowadays.
Yeah.
Is just kind of like get a tin of like catered barbecue or like to go barbecue and just kind of snack on it. Just always
For
able
sure,
to
it's a good way to
make a
go.
little
Yeah, I've been
salmon.
spoiled in my life and career. Spent a lot of time in Missouri, so I got to know Kansas City barbecue. Spent some time in Alabama, got to know good Bama barbecue.
They do the white sauce.
They
down
do the
there,
white
right?
sauce.
I like that.
But like anywhere that treats barbecue seriously, like they just do the meat right,
Yeah.
and,
that's fair.
and the sides and the fixins and. So anyway, I got good barbecue throughout my life, and so I search pretty fervently for good barbecue, and one place comes to mind. I should look it up. In Kittredge, Colorado, hiding out in Kittredge, Colorado, which is in the hills west of Denver. Definitely not a far drive from Denver. Kind of around. Where is it? You're looking at it.
Is it
right now.
Switchback Smokehouse?
Good.
Switchback Smokehouse.
Good.
All
Yeah.
right. It looks good. 4.7 stars on Google reviews.
Another place that sells out quick, and I'm recalling, I wonder if it's still there. They do Montreal style brisket.
Ew, what is Montreal style?
More
brisket?
of like looks like pastrami, thin
Ew.
candy.
Mm,
It was awesome.
that sounds.
So
that
that's
does
one
sound delicious.
to put on your list.
I got one here. So Mashed, a publication called Mashed.
Yep.
A lot of listeners probably familiar with it. They just put out a piece about the best barbecue in every single state around the country. Their pick for Colorado was Post Oak Barbecue in Denver. So another highly rated spot. They get all the wood that they use to smoke their barbecue from Texas. So kind of a cool little tidbit there. But if you're in the Denver area, apparently it's great. I have not been there in
I'll
full
add it to my
disclosure,
list.
but yeah.
If people wondered, Kittredge, by the way, which you don't really hear mention of Kittredge much, kind of tucked in there,
Mm-hmm.
a little outside Indian Hills, if that helps people more, west of Morrison, kind of getting up toward Evergreen, in that area. Anyway,
Population of 843, as I'm seeing online.
little drive-by town.
Yeah.
And then I'm also remembering great barbecue that I had in Marble, Colorado. There it is, Slow Groovin' Barbecue in Marble, Colorado.
Ew.
Outside Aspen.
4.8 stars on Google reviews.
I know my
Even
stuff.
higher. He knows his stuff, people. Listen to Seth.
Man. I know barbecue. I don't know anything else, but I know barbecue.
Ew, and they have St. Louis style barbecue. It looks like that's interesting. You don't see that as much in other spots.
They have this awesome sauce, man. I'm like pulling up the menu right now. I remember it kind of being like a berry kind of sauce, but I could be totally misremembering that. Anyway, that's a super good spot. And in Marble, just a cool, funky place to stop into.
Oh yeah.
So named for the very famous marble deposits that have made some of our nation's finest monuments.
Yeah.
From that white marble.
And when you see the photos of them cutting that marble out, like these slabs are massive slabs of marble that they're dealing with. Like it's pretty impressive.
Dude, and have you been through?
I've been up in that area, but didn't spend time.
I remember like just driving in and like there's just like blocks of marble.
They have little
hanging around.
statues and stuff sitting
Yeah.
around too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also the mill, right?
Right.
One of the
Overlooking the town, really.
one of the most iconic and most photographed. Or I guess people tend to see this photograph a lot of Colorado, just right there
the
in
Crystal
the
Mill.
Aspens. Yeah,
the Crystal Mill.
Yeah.
I thought, for some reason, I thought you were talking about the actual quarry overlooking the town. But yes.
Oh yeah.
On
Crystal
a very
Mill.
rugged drive onto Crystal Mill,
Mm-hmm.
especially sought right around this time of year when the colors are going to start to change.
Yeah, people tend to stop through Marble first and then do that. But
Right.
yeah,
Yep.
can't just do that in any vehicle though. So
Right.
heads up.
Yep.
But yeah, no, hey, that sounds like a great meal. What else this weekend? Any other noteworthy takeaways?
No, that was definitely the highlight, man.
Yeah,
Good barbecue.
good barbecue.
Very, very happy about that. Former food truck, Chuck Wagon was.
Mhm.
Been in brick and mortar, I was told, like since May. So I think you're going to start hearing the word
Yeah,
increasingly get out there. More
that
and
explains why all of a sudden I've heard my friends start talking about it.
more and more. Yeah. People have known about it as the food truck, and now it's, now it's attracting a line.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, let's talk about this stabbing hoax.
One of the most bizarre.
Very bizarre story. And this was one of those stories. So, I'm typically not in the office on Tuesdays, right? So I'm working from home.
Mm-hmm.
Saw this story come out. Had to head into the office so that we could get some of this news out for our listeners, viewers on Instagram. Because of how crazy this story was. So on August 19th, a seasonal park ranger at Staunton State Park named 26 years old, named Callum Heskett, essentially radioed for help. And he apparently had claimed that he was attacked and stabbed in the area of Lazy V Trailhead, which is
one of the major
parking
lots
things
there. Yep.
Yeah. And before we get into this, all these crimes are obviously alleged. Anyone accused of any sort of crime is innocent until proven guilty. So essentially, though, this prompts this mass response, right? Like you had multiple law enforcement agencies responding, SWAT responding. The park was evacuated and closed. People in the area were put on kind of like a stay-at-home order, told not to go around, in case this suspect that apparently had attacked and stabbed Heskett was on the loose. So they're looking around for this dude. They're searching in the air. The suspect was described as a 6-foot male, 200 pounds, said to be wearing a gray shirt and blue jeans. They're looking for the air for him. They're looking on the ground for him, but the suspect is nowhere to be found, right? Meanwhile, Heskett is airlifted to the hospital with a serious torso wound, stab wound, right? He is expected to recover from that wound, but he did pretty much immediately go into surgery. And so very, very serious stuff. And then later that day, the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office released the only information that they really released about the case before kind of the big reveal, we'll say. And that was that it was believed that this attack was a targeted attack.
Yeah.
And that there was no other threat to the community, right? A couple days go by. On August 21st, the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office issued a warrant for the arrest of the park ranger that had been stabbed, Callum Heskett, related to the situation. And apparently they were planning on charging him with multiple felonies and multiple misdemeanors, essentially saying that this whole thing was an elaborate hoax. No details have really been released on the why this stabbing might have been made up, at least as far as what they're claiming or what law enforcement is claiming is the case. But yeah, like just a bizarre situation all around. Bizarre. Yeah, later reporting kind of looked at what led them to that conclusion. Apparently a lot of it was just inconsistencies in the storytelling of Heskett. The evidence at the scene didn't really point to there being another suspect involved, apparently. But also they found, and this is from court documents that were obtained by 9 News Investigates. Apparently, what this makes it sound like is that Heskett may have searched stabbing-related topics on Google prior to this whole incident unfolding. Two of the Google searches that stuck out were how deep are arteries in lower abdomen, and another one that was 3.5-inch stab wound. Yeah, so interesting story, but it made big headlines in Colorado.
Yeah.
People, with some of these, there was that recent attack, the recent alleged assault on the Cog Railway worker, right, earlier that week, where someone at the Cog Railroad got into an altercation. An employee at the Cog got into an altercation in the parking lot. Was left with serious wounds, potentially brain trauma. They did arrest somebody in that case as well. But yeah, I think with the combination of those two stories coming out around similar times, people, saw this headline about the stabbing and were like, "Whoa, what is going on?" And Tim, our video producer, and I were chatting about it. And it's like, out of any outcome that you'd expect, this was not it.
That it was a hoax. Yeah.
Yeah, like I mentioned, all of this is just alleged, so we'll probably learn more about this as this investigation into this stabbing at Staunton State Park continues. But for now, that's kind of where the information stands. So
very weird,
very, very bizarre.
Never a shortage of weird stories.
Yeah, let's talk about something else that's weird.
Yeah,
in Colorado especially, surfing.
Yes,
surfing in Colorado.
Yeah, talk about another headline, right?
Yeah.
Surfing in Colorado. More and more are catching a wave. So reads the headline online right now. Gazette.com. So yeah, I did a little dive into what's going on with river surfing, a scene that is seemingly taking off in Colorado. And don't take it from me. Take it from a guy by the name of Mike Harvey. Okay, he's in Salida. He's with a company called REP, shortened to REP. And he's kind of the man behind Scout Wave, as it's known now, in Salida, right there downtown. You're always seeing people surfing on that wave. We're talking no paddle, right? Everyone knows about stand-up paddleboarding. We are talking California surfing, man.
With a helmet.
With a helmet and a life vest, right? Yeah. It looks a lot different than the traditional surf scene.
Often a wetsuit too,
and
like
right.
I mean, I guess surfers are probably in that as well.
Yeah,
in some places, but this river water, Arkansas river water,
white
is
water.
Cold.
Yeah,
it's cold.
So Mike Harvey, again, could be called one of the pioneering builders for what Scout Wave has really come to mean for people who seek these kind of things. Like one of the best engineered in the country. He told me, I said I've been involved with whitewater sports for over 30 years now, and I've never seen anything that's as hot as river surfing is right now. To the point where he's like saying. Like, he told me, like, I meet people from California who are coming to camp in Colorado to go surfing. He's like, I just rented out surfboards just now to a couple guys from Brazil,
Dang.
Like, who just wanted to come here and see what this wave is all about.
And the wave's always there, right?
Right.
Like, it's a perpetual wave. So,
Right.
opposed to ocean surfing,
Where you got to wait, maybe you catch it.
Yeah.
There's a legend to that, for sure. To be clear, no one is... I talk to people who are like river surfing is the best. That's where it's at. But it's not the same as those legendary waves that come, and it's a natural force, and there's just a legend to that, right? These waves are here waiting for you because of how they've been engineered over the years. I mentioned the one in Salida, of course, right? That same company is behind one that's really burst onto the scene in Pueblo. Just this past summer, debuted there at the Waterworks Park. That's brought. I talked to a store owner there in Pueblo, and his line to me was something like, if you would have told me there'd be a thriving surf shop in Pueblo, Colorado 5 years ago, I would have said you're crazy. But sure enough, there are people around the Front Range, Fort Collins, Boulder, Denver, who are pulling off the highway for Pueblo and going to hit the Waterworks Park to ride that wave now.
Yeah, we are pretty far from an ocean, in all fairness.
Yeah, get your water where you can.
Yeah.
Another thing that has that really spurred the scene over the years is at the River Run Park, right, in Sheridan, near Denver there. That was another example of kind of this pioneering technology called a wave shaper that added a wave there, a perpetual wave there, accounting for high and low flows. Not to get into the nitty gritty of it, but the technology kind of resembles these like steel hydraulic flaps that just kind of slightly affect the riverbed in a way that manipulates waves that are good for surfing. So again, that kind of caught like Front Range eyes, and more and more are kind of seeking these things. There's a deep history in Colorado whitewater parks. Some say, you know, Confluence Park in Denver is known as like the first whitewater park in the country. Yeah. And we've seen mountain towns left and right add these whitewater parks. And when they were being built, obviously for kayakers in mind, right? And over the years, there were some surfers who looked at these waves and were like, that looks like rideable, right?
Doable.
But what we're seeing more and more in recent years is waves very specifically built for surfing.
That's
right?
awesome.
So that's what I'm alluding to. High performance waves, as they're called.
Apparently, there's one here in Glenwood Springs too.
Right. Yep.
They described it as a world-class river surf wave. So
Montrose has really come on there with what they've added there.
It's pretty wild.
So it sounds like more and more like you're hearing some of these long-standing whitewater parks call about, hey, is there a way maybe to add a high-performance surf wave to our facility here? So you're kind of seeing a lot of that happening too.
Dang. Would you say, does it tend to attract like beginners, intermediate, advanced? Like what experience level did you get the idea? It was like,
so I talked to a guy who had a former life as a professional surfer, you know, in California, Hawaii, Florida, bouncing around the Bahamas, and now he made home in Fruita, Colorado, the desert of Colorado. So he could be between the Glenwood Water Park and the Montrose Water Park.
Dang.
So there are pros. Talk to people who are just getting into it. You know, a guy into his 50s, noticed in Golden, people were surfing on the Whitewater Park there. And he's starting to seek these waves all over now and says it's great for the whole family. You know, takes his kid and him and his wife traveling around, went overnighted in Pueblo because they loved that wave so much, you know.
Dang.
There's definitely a safety component to it. There's kind of a Facebook community that's come about. The aforementioned pro surfer I mentioned, he oversees like a Facebook page, like a community page where he really wanted to spread the word on safety. You know, you got to understand water. You got to understand the way rivers run before you're getting on these short boards, typically shorter boards. You know, you're not always wearing a leash like you might think you would be on your board because of the chance of getting caught in rushing water.
Sense.
So there's definitely some safety aspects to be aware of. But yeah, I hear like people just getting on a board, and naturally there's always a community around it to help, right? People are hanging out, waiting for their chance to get on the wave, experienced people who, you know, it's one of those good cultures of like people helping people.
Very cool.
So there's kind of that built-in aspect to it, and yeah, kind of a fun, unsuspected scene in landlocked Colorado.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, that's awesome. I've always like seen the videos on Instagram and stuff. I've been curious about it, and I mean, I have no surfing experience, so I'd be curious how long it would take for me to even be able to, you know, feel like it was natural there. I imagine it'd be quicker than an ocean when you're, you know, if you're able to sit there and practice on the same wave again and again.
Yeah. But I think that it kind of naturally like draws like, you know, people who are into skateboarding, people who are into snowboarding. Yeah. You know, for sure, like that's just like a kinetic. They see that activity and are pretty natural at it. But yeah, I hear people just diving in and
very cool.
Catching a wave.
Since we're talking about water destinations, and since you mentioned Fruita, got to give a shout out to Amandi Wake Zone. Yeah, I think you've written about that
over
before
there.
too. Been over there, yeah. It's like this. For those of you who don't know, if you're driving down I-70, you just see like this giant inflatable thing out in the middle of this lake in the Fruita area. You see like these overhead cables. What those cables allow you to do is you can practice wakeboarding without a boat. So you can like be connected to this cable system and pulled along like you're on a boat, hitting ramps, etc. But you don't need a boat. And then there's this big like inflatable playground too. So got to give a quick shout out to them, just because anytime this pops up, I'm like, that'd be fun if it wasn't 6 hours away.
In the Fruita Desert.
Yeah, right. Also great mountain biking out there though too. Might be worth the trip.
Yeah,
might be worth the trip.
Yep, and then you get some of the best pizza at Hot Tomato. What it's called?
I think that's right.
In Fruita.
Yeah, we'll double. Yeah,
that's good stuff.
Hot tomato pizza.
A couple of mountain bikers transplanted from New York and bringing their pie to Fruita.
There's another one, 4.8 stars on Google reviews. Seth, just with you're killing it.
4.7 is my.
Yeah, we need to see how many of your favorite spots we can just go through until we find one that's less than 4.7. Might be difficult, given your track record today alone.
Been on a tear, man.
Yeah, on a tear. Well, hey, we got ski season around the corner.
Yeah.
Real quick, we can go over some of those dates.
Got some dates to put on the calendar already.
Yeah, official dates so far for opening, and obviously this is subject to weather, etc.
Yep. Target dates, as they call them.
Yeah, target dates. We got Breck, it's November 7th, Vail Mountain at November 14th, Beaver Creek and Crested Butte at November 26th. And that's just the Vail Resorts locations. They released their list of dates last week. So some other places probably have a good idea of when they're opening. And then also, I think the big question mark on this, which question mark every year, but when will Keystone open? Will it be the first to open in the state? They're saying mid-October, so aiming for, pre-Halloween skiing.
Yep.
But obviously that's a race between a few other spots.
Right. Yeah. A-Basin. People might remember there was, Keystone and A-Basin talked very friendly with each other after A-Basin left the Epic Pass years ago, we're talking about. But then you see Keystone investing big time in snowmaking and very clearly was interested in maintaining the first to open,
Have they done
slopes.
it yet?
Well, so last year, didn't Keystone and A-Basin open on the same day? November 2nd?
They did, yeah.
November. It was later last year.
Yeah.
Later than, by days or weeks. By A-Basin's typical standard.
Yeah, we always used to ski at A-Basin before Halloween. At least a week or so before.
Yeah, and common. I think that's typically been common.
Yeah.
Do you remember who opened first last year? With the way their season ended, when I was writing up the list.
Wolf Creek?
It was Wolf Creek.
Yeah, that's...
Which you remember, things
all
got
natural
dry
snow,
there.
right?
Yeah, all
Pretty
natural
much,
snow.
yeah.
So they're in that race too. On occasion, when big storms come in over there, they'll open.
Well, and that was also part of that the Farmer's Almanac thing we were talking about last week, where last year they said we were going to get a lot of early season snow, and Wolf Creek benefited from that quite a bit. So
So at least last year it went Wolf Creek October 22nd, I think, and then A-Basin and Keystone November 2nd, Breckenridge, Copper, Winter Park got going November 8th, and Leveland on November 9th.
Nice.
But yeah, things were kind of as far as like where front rangers go. Things were kind of slower last year.
Yeah, that is slower.
Yeah.
You very rarely do you not see either A-Basin, Keystone, Loveland
In October.
Yeah, not opening in October. But yeah, that's ski season right around the corner. The press release that came out last week said 75 days away from Vail Resorts. So yeah, that's coming in pretty hot. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
At least for the snow.
Along with the wording, of course, of Epic Pass prices going up Labor Day after September 1st.
Yeah.
And the message again about the extra perk for Epic Pass holders this year about the Friends Passes.
Was it 50% off?
Yeah.
For a friend that comes with you.
Right.
And your friend gets to
the lift ticket. Yeah.
I believe they get to deduct that cost from their pass if they purchase next year.
For the next year.
Yeah,
that's right.
Which that's kind of cool too.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see how that shakes this year.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. I really like everyone's aware by now that a lot of these major slope sport conglomerates, we'll say, are kind of pushing away from just like walking up to the ticket window, buying a pass, and pushing more so into pushing these season passes or these multi-resort passes. One thing that Vail Resorts does that I like is that they do the Epic Days, where you can purchase, I think it's like up to 7 days, flexible dates. I want to say right now the Keystone lift ticket, you basically pick what tier of resorts you want, and Keystone's on one of the cheaper tiers, maybe with Crested Butte, I want to say. But yeah, I think that's under $100 for a lift ticket.
Yeah, right.
So,
they like the way they've marketed it is up to 65% off.
Yeah.
Lift ticket prices.
Yeah, and as someone who I've had to buy the full price lift ticket before at Keystone specifically, I think it was like $270. Long story behind. I wasn't gonna ski that year, and then one of my friends from abroad came into town, so I had to buy one.
Yep.
But yeah, like seeing that, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna at least always get at least a couple Epic Day passes just in case.
Yep. Big push away from the ticket windows. And what people may or may not realize is, I mean, as the way the resorts are making that push, the way they're describing that push is to make flow like more predictable for them, so they can get their management ducks in a row on what days may or may not look like.
That makes sense.
Very, especially in an era where, with more and more season pass holders, apparently, seemingly coming back repeatedly, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's that maybe lesser known element, and it's just easier to have a predictable element of those people would be ticket buyers when you know they're coming. Yeah.
It probably also, I mean, just in terms of the season pass, I would imagine it's nice for them to get that money up front.
Yeah.
So then they can kind of use that
Right.
as they're trying to figure out the rest of their financials throughout the busiest time of their year.
Yep.
Yeah, let's get into one more topic before we close out. And this is something that you brought up. You covered it a while ago. But bullfighting that took place in Colorado, said to be, what do you say, the first and only bullfight
in America?
In
as
America,
it was called at that time, yeah. Or at least the first, I think, is how I read it.
Okay.
But, shout out. This magazine went out for Gazette subscribers in the Sunday paper, Colorado Living. We're putting together this magazine quarterly or so, and there's always a little historical bit in here. And the historical bit we decided on this year was the little lesser-known story of Gillette, Colorado, which if you're on your way to Cripple Creek, the once booming gold town of Cripple Creek, the old town, there's no resemblance of Gillette anymore hanging out in kind of the fields there, approaching Victor and Cripple Creek. But at one point, it was called... at the time in the late 1800s, there was this idea to really create this bustling casino center, So I read this account that referred to a church being there, real estate offices, meat markets, ice dealers. And there was a physician, postmistress, a bakery, a sawmill, apparently. And there was a man named Joseph Wolf, who supposedly owned the biggest hotel and largest casino in Gillette. Mm-hmm. And as one way to promote the town, had this idea for a bullfight.
Dang.
In 1895. It was here you go. It was billed the first of its kind in the U.S., though Dodge City, Kansas contends that. They claim an infamous affair in 1884.
Close.
So, but by every account, seemingly the first known in Colorado. Probably the first and last known in Colorado. Apparently, professional matadors came in. Stands were built. There's photos of this. There is photo evidence of this. And the Great Mexican Bullfight was on. That was how it was billed at that time.
Man, were any bulls killed? Let's get into that.
Reports are a little sketchy. There's a kind of a fairly obscure account by Virgil Kellogg that I found in the museum here downtown, along with some Gazette-Telegraph reporting at that time. In the arena was a fair representation of the rougher elements of the community, this Kellogg fellow wrote. Gamblers, swindlers, hangers-on, natural-born drunks. And he retold everything kicking off with an off-key tune, whatever that meant, maybe like a trumpet or something. And that was like the proper precursor for how things went. Nothing went right, apparently, because either, there was the first helpless bull was slain and things were called off. That's what the Gazette-Telegraph reported at the time. Or maybe fights had started and stopped, and there were people getting arrested throughout this morning or afternoon. There was kind of some sketchy reporting there. But at any rate, an utter failure for sure. And Gillette would go on to fail as well. Again, there's no sign of that town lasting on the way to Cripple Creek.
Yeah, as I'm over here just doing quick Google searches over here.
Yeah.
Here's a piece from CPR that cites a Denver Public Library article, or at least one that's featured online, that says 1 or 2 of 5 participating bulls were killed over a multi-day event that could have drawn as many as 50,000 spectators, which, looking at the photos, does not seem like 50,000 spectators. Apparently some other reports say 5,000.
Let's say this. If you think newspapers exaggerate today, they most certainly exaggerated back then.
Man, all right. So I've seen bullfights in Barcelona.
You have experience.
In one specific event, right? I think I was 20 at the time, and just kind of on a little study abroad in Europe. And this was back in the day, you know, before the internet was really like we went into this bullfight not really knowing what we were getting into. And I gotta say, I will never go back to one. It was the most brutal thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
It was like multiple stages. Like we left too. Like we were like, we don't want to be here for this. But they kill these bulls over the process of multiple stages that basically involve weakening these bulls, and then kind of moving in for the kill once this bull's like basically on its last leg anyway. And then they like drag the bull around the stadium. Like it is
brutish.
Brutal. And in my opinion, like I was a little scarred from that. Like it was so graphic and horrific, and so not to
which I think was a reaction from this.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember reading stuff and people were very much like, no, what is this? How did we let this happen? You know.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think is bullfighting banned in Mexico now?
I don't know.
I know Spain really bullfighting banned. Quick Google search. Mexico City banned it in apparently 2010. But yeah, it's pretty hard to find places around the world that still do this, and
rightfully so.
And man, the one that we saw in Barcelona, it just took place in this like gladiator styles, like Coliseum stadium, like just with the dirt floor, and it was a experience.
Like we said, a lesser known slice of Colorado history that probably is best off forgotten altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it, Seth.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's about all we've got to chat about today for the show. Until next time, I guess, we will see you out there, Colorado.
Yes, we will. Until next time.
Cool.